All right, it's going now.
Okay, good morning, everyone, for the Oswego County Industrial Development Agency meeting of July 29th, 2021. And before we begin, I think we should go around the table and uh, introduce everybody and to verify we have a quorum. We do have Tim Stahl on the phone calling in to. So, Tim, how are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. Good morning. Thank you for making this option available. I appreciate it.
Okay, so might as well start. Michael, you wanna?
Mike Treadwell, CEO of the Cannabis Mill IDA.
And I'm Tracy Hawthorne here representing Hawthorne Holdings LLC.
Gary Trimble, IDA.
Morris Ravello, IDA.
Austin Wheelock, Staff Operations, Oswego County.
Gary Toth, IDA.
Kevin Caracoli, General Counsel to the IDA.
And we have Kevin
And I-
LaMontagne.
Yep, and I'm on the staff of operations Oswego County and serve as the Chief Financial Officer of the agency.
Okay. Well, thank you, and thank you everybody for showing up, and welcome to our meeting. Might as well start going down the agenda.
Gary, I'm sorry, just
Sure.
as a point of order, we do have a quorum present, either both in person and electronically. Our bylaws do allow for participation electronically, remotely, as long as it's in real time. And I know that Nick Canale's on his way as well, but we do have a quorum of 4 members present of the 7-member board.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks. It's a good idea to make that point. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the minutes of June 24th, 2021. Everybody get those on your portal? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the minutes of the June 24th minutes, please?
I'll move.
Okay, motion by Barry,
I can second it.
second by Morris. Any questions or corrections on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Is everybody good with getting the information on the portal? I think it works out very well. So, okay. I know it saves the staff a lot of paperwork. Second item is notice of the meeting was published in the Palladium Times on June 16th, 2021. The Treasurer's Report of May 31st, 2021. Everybody see that on the portal also? Do I have a motion to accept the Treasurer's Report?
I can make that motion.
Okay, motion by Morris.
Second.
Second by Barry. Any questions or comments on the Treasurer's Report? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Treasurer's Report is carried. Okay,
Hold on 1 second. Nick's coming.
All right, guys.
hey,
Morning.
good morning.
Morning.
Okay, I think I'm gonna jump down a little bit and hit a few topics that are still in open meeting, 8 and 9.
Don't do 8 yet, Gary, because we're gonna dial in Dave Turner for that one.
Okay, 9 and 10, how about 9 and 10?
Why don't we just go ahead and we're, Tracy, she's got a busy schedule, so she needs to get out of here.
Okay, so, at this point, we need to go into executive session for a while to discuss, a business. And I'll have Kevin give the reason for doing executive session.
The executive session would be to discuss the personal or financial information of an individual or corporation. I mean, in this case, it's appears to be all corporations that are going to be discussed in executive session. Public Officers Law 105.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. So do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make it.
Motion by Nick Canale, seconded by
I second it.
Morris Sabello. Motion and second to go into executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
8:15.
Okay, motion carried. Would you have?
8:15.
At 8:15. Okay, we are now in executive session. Soon as Kevin.
All right,
goes
we're
action.
we're good now. We're live.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to come out of executive session.
Okay, motion to come out of executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Morris, motion by Nick. Well, there's no questions on that. So all those in favor of coming out of executive session?
8:55.
Any opposed?
Yep.
Okay, we're now out of executive session,
Sure, this is
and
one we can-
next item on the agenda is the Oswego County Industrial Park expansion. You're gonna give us an update, and I think a very good update.
Yeah, I am pleased to announce that I have in my hand the deed papers, the transfer documents, so that the IDA would take ownership of the 3 parcels of land just shy of 200 acres in the town of Schuylkill and adjacent to the current Oswego County Industrial Park. We're going to have Gary sign these documents at the conclusion of the meeting. I think the wires are ready to go, and or the wire is ready to go, and we will be the owners of this property by tomorrow.
Great.
And just as we had reported, I guess on the committed funds for this project, we're just about maybe a little bit under, I'm thinking, or we're close to it, to the 1 point.
Well, there were some other costs that
Well,
have
there's-
already been deducted. from
Yeah,
that,
No, there's
One point
the
two.
option fees.
1.2 total.
Oh, that's
Now we're
true.
down
Yeah.
to $1,059,000, and
So-
so
The money that is currently in covers all of the expenses related to this project. So that's it. I mean, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But
Is everything cleared up as far as the lease agreements for the farming of the land for the summer?
no, I mean, now that we own the property, we'll reach out to CNY Crops and others and work out those details with them.
I'm gonna run down there and pick all the corn.
Help with the stand.
That's pretty high, Michael.
So Nick, the way it typically works is the lease is paid out at the end of the growing season, so, we'll have that set up and based on the amount of land that
Oh,
was.
right,
Yeah, and it's gonna be similar to what was in place with the previous landowner, so we have something to work off of.
but they planted the corn.
Yes, it was
Okay.
done.
It's knee high now.
Alright.
I don't have a question, but I got a comment. Dave, I want to thank you for everything you did. Nick and Kevin and Mike for the work put into this, because without the efforts you guys put into this this park, I don't know if it would have happened. So thank you.
Well, all good things come with time, and this one maybe took a little bit longer than we had all hoped, but we got there, and patience is key to making a lot of these things work. So everybody played a part here. And on the infrastructure side, I did meet with staff member from Senator Ritchie's office yesterday evening, and talked about how she helped with our Volney sewer project, and hopefully she could find a way to help us with this Phoenix one. And she seemed encouraging. And not long ago, I had a conversation with Senator Schumer's office, who expressed an interest in maybe giving us more money than we asked for in that direct federal appropriation for this project. So that was a good sign as well.
Let's see if we can get a little thrown into that infrastructure, bipartisan infrastructure bill they're working on.
Yeah, I think that's, if our current funding plan comes together for the work that's on the table, I think that new bill could definitely help with build out of the properties. There's also at EDA right now, under the American Rescue Plan, there's a separate funding opportunity for infrastructure. So if you want to take a look at that and see if the build out of the property could be partially funded through that source. There's several $100 million in that pot.
How do we go about that?
I can send whoever wants to look at it the notice of funding opportunity, and take a look through it, and then we can figure out whether our project or your project is a good fit for that. And this is money that's already appropriated. The president's proposed infrastructure plan is still being negotiated, so this money is on the table right now, and you can make an application directly to EDA, and I think we have good support at the regional EDA office, and at the Central New York Regional Planning Board works very closely with EDA, so this is separate from the regular EDA money that's out there every year and kind of hard to get if you don't really have definite jobs at the other end of the line.
We have kept Dave Botar in the loop on all of this stuff. Dave has, and we have. We both are on the Regional Planning and Development Board, and so they're in the loop. We just need to fine tune this a little bit and see how we can get our foot in the door where we might have a potential to access EDA funding. EDA funded the development of the industrial park in Schuylkill. All the infrastructure we worked through CNS. Well, it wasn't CNS at that point in time. It was another Calaserenas and Spina engineering firm to design the industrial park in Schuylkill, and so it's EDA has a history of working with that specific industrial park, and fortunately right now we can tell EDA that it's pretty much totally utilized. There's not a whole lot of acres left down there.
Great.
We've overcome one big hurdle, and that's ownership.
Timing is really good.
Fill it up.
Anybody else?
No, I think it's a good project. I want to remark, and I think Senator Schumer has helped us a lot, and all that business, and I certainly appreciate that.
Okay.
Great.
David, again,
Thanks,
you
everyone. I
thank
appreciate
you
you moving your schedule around to accommodate the call.
And I'll keep that bran muffin. I'll keep the bran muffin for the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Hey, Dave, it's going to be a corn muffin with wheat germ in it.
There'll be some kind of German there by that date.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, everyone. Yep, bye now.
Okay, that's good news. That's exciting news. Michael, number 9, the COVID-19 funds.
You want to go
Or
with
should
that?
I cover that? Yeah. So just an update on this is the COVID-19 Emergency Relief Loan Funds, the $500,000 that the IDA loaned to OOC. Their extended terms so OOC can make the loans. We all know that story from last year. So just some quick numbers. You've heard these before, but the OOC approved 46 loans. They closed 44. Two didn't close for various reasons. That was a total of just about $382,000. As of the end of June 30th, there's of that $382,000, there's about $222,000 left. So we've collected about $160. OOC has, based on our agreement between OOC and the IDA. Any collected monies through June 30th should be returned to the IDA. So we did that actually on July 21st, and that was the 160 or 159,644 was returned to the IDA by OOC. So right now we have 118 or as of the end of June, 118,000 sitting at OOC available to loan. So that's money that has never been lent. All the collected monies have been returned to IDA at this point. That's loans that were paid in full at the end of the 6 months, and then also any principal that's been collected on monthly payments since they started late last year, the repayments.
And
Is that program
that
still
money
available?
goes into the pilot EDF fund.
Right.
Is that program still available? Open
Yes,
for-
it is, and we do pitch it from time to time.
Okay.
No current takers in the works, but the last ones we did actually were in December 2020. But since then, on a number of occasions, I've been able to at least offer it up, so it is still a useful tool. But how useful if it's not getting used, that it's a matter for discussion. But
Wasn't in Constantia?
I thought there was. I thought that was a June or July early July project.
oh, sorry, yeah,
Yeah, that was just one. That's the only one we've had since. But it does still get marketed, and you know, with everything going on with Delta variant, who knows what'll happen? And I think it's something that we may need to utilize more in the coming months.
Okay, very good
That's it.
job. I think through our partnership with Operation Oswego County, I think we helped a lot of businesses out in Oswego County. Okay, number 10, Nexus Renewables. Is this what you, Mike?
Well, this is a project that submitted an application. The application has been in the process of being reviewed. There's some issues, some of them maybe wetland related issues. You want to address?
Yeah, I think this is correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but a Canadian-based.
this is not been my project.
It is. Yeah, I've been
Oh,
working
sorry.
on
Okay.
Canadian-based.
Canadian-based. Not that that necessarily means anything, but project out in the village of Sandy Creek, and it was recently determined that there might be some wetlands that encroach into the area. It's a solar farm, and this would be I think the third solar farm along Route 11, right? And so been trying to understand the full parameters of the project from the company's perspective, and we just raised a couple of issues, and they may not be quite ready yet to present what would essentially be the final proposal to the IDA, so that we could adopt an initial resolution. So we suggested that they get kind of their affairs in order, come to us with a final plan, and if it works for our August agenda, we would entertain the initial resolution that. But
Just to add on that, they were anticipating getting an engineering report that would give them a determination if a what jurisdiction a wetland would fall under, and if there was ability to build within a buffer zone of that. And I think that they're still waiting for that. They anticipated it by the date of the meeting, and to have that in, and they think now it'll be next week or the week after. So we said, it didn't make sense to do an initial resolution, which may need to be amended into a new one anyway. So just hold off and table it until they're better prepared in that perspective.
just by way of a point of information, and this is not unique. This issue did not come to the IDA board because the company got it worked out, but the SSC Oswego 2 project out on Cocher Road in the city of Oswego, behind Lowe's, very similar issue. The DEC came back, and actually the city said, we think we need a wetland jurisdictional determination, because we don't know if these are state or federally monitored wetlands. You're awfully close to what the county's identified as a wetland. We need you to go through and have a jurisdictional determination made. They didn't like it, and they were pushing their panels into the wetland, but we held them to it, and they did, and the project ultimately was approved, and then it came to the board.
Was it modified? in terms of the
Slightly,
layout a little bit?
slightly, not significantly, but again, why go through the exercise if it is going to change?
Was it
Just get it done
Was
up
it-
front, and then
built in the was it encroaching the wetland?
It
like
was-
in the buffer zone, or?
in the buffer.
Okay.
So you have a wetland the state regulations say you must build outside of 100-foot buffer. So you've got the actual wetland, and then you know, a geologist or an engineer would stake the property, flag it, literally tie little flags around trees that show where the 100-foot buffer area is, and then you build on, you know, on the other side of it.
I just want to bring up a point there. In Volney, we have a soil and water division in the county, and they can, of course, help us from the standpoint of technology. As a farmer, I can tell you this underground tile, in some cases, can eliminate an area from being a wetland by natural drainage.
Yeah. Yeah, but farmers have a little bit more of an advantage than
Well,
solar
I know.
companies.
That's why I'm saying soil and water
Yeah.
in Volney there, they'd be more than happy to check out something if we needed to.
Yeah.
They're growing electricity. It's agriculture.
It's related to onions, you know, it's the same thing.
So anyway, we anticipate they'll be back on the August agenda.
And they let us know that they didn't think that they would have, they think that their site plan approval will be like October, November, so there's no imminency to needing to have a pilot approved. You know, so we just said it's fine to, you know, kind of delay this at least a month.
Yeah. And this is the second OYA that we already did was a Canadian company as well, so this is the second one from Canada.
2.5 meg.
2.5 megawatt AC, yes.
How many acres? Ballpark?
17-ish, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Okay, most of these solar farms we've worked with, and the ones we haven't, most of them have had some sort of investor or front company
Yep.
do the actual construction and
Right.
building of it. Then there's a transfer of ownership.
Based on
So
their
the operating
application, it would be
company?
the owner, but based on their application, they would be the owner, but, you know, there was sort of,
They all say that.
they all say that. I mean, they left it open that there could be a subsidiary of the company, which would be the owner. So there'd be some relationship, we just,
Okay.
All the resolutions address that to some degree in terms of who is actually going to be the ultimate recipient of the benefits.
Okay, any other questions on this,
So no action.
solar farm? No action. Okay, before we move down to other business, I wanna go back and, take some motions on some, executive item, things of business, the Hawthorne Holdings LLC. Do I have a motion on the initial resolution? Okay, motion by Nick, seconded by
I'll second.
Morris. On the initial resolution for Hawthorne Holdings, are there any questions? All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, the initial resolution is carried. And I need a motion on the delinquent loan report that Kevin detailed in the executive session. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Gary, seconded by Barry. Right. All those in favor? Yep. All those in favor? Tim?
He said aye.
Yes, said aye, okay. All those opposed? Okay, motion's carried. Okay, now moving down to number 11, other business?
The only thing I do have a copy of the letter from the state of New York Department of State relative to the $860,000 Fulton DRI grant for the manufacturing startup facility to be built at the Nestle site. So this is the first thing in writing that we have gotten from the state. I mean, it was when the lieutenant governor announced the projects, it was listed as a project, but that was a verbal thing. This is the official notice that those funds are available to us to do all our homework to get those funds.
So they're not making them unavailable due to state financial woes or anything like that, but they're committed to those funds.
Well, I mean, they're committed to the projects. Anybody who's received one this letter, those funds are in a holding pattern until we go through the process of actually building the building and providing documentation on cost and drawing down the funds.
But now that those letters are out, owners of projects can spend money and they'd be eligible for.
Well, actually, yeah, just, I mean, I would trust the July 13th date as the date, but theoretically, they claim it's the date that it's announced. We could go back a couple months.
There's other strings that are attached though. You do need to follow the MWBE requirements. So if you were to spend money and you didn't follow those requirements, they could say, well, you didn't do it, so you don't get the money. And that's typically 30% of whatever the award amount is. You need to have an MWBE plan to spend that. So yes, it's eligible as of that date, but you need to have done it based on the rules that you probably didn't get yet. So you don't want to spend that right away.
Hey, can I ask a question? Are we as Operation Oswego, I should say, Mike, do you know if Operation Oswego County is offering assistance to some of those local business owners in Fulton with the process when they were awarded directly? Have you been receiving calls on that?
We've been working with them day one. We
Okay,
had
so-
a meeting.
so
We
I
had a
guess that
meeting.
was my
We had a
question. So
meeting
Our
2 days
Operation
ago.
Oswego
We had a
is
meeting.
able to help those folks.
Yeah, we're working with them. The ones
Well,
that are appropriate to work with. Some of the reward recipients are not business related projects, and they're municipal projects, and we're not working on those. We're working on
Sure.
the ones that are business related, like the build out of the building number 30, the big building down there, and some of those types of projects, and Hudamaki and some of those. But, yeah, all the business related one we have been working with them from the DRI process itself. Yeah, we're
Mike, is it
involved.
expected that through the rest of the process that aid would be available to those businesses right through to the completion of reimbursement?
Not necessarily. I mean, the company that's getting the money is going to be responsible for putting together the documentation to draw down the funds. I don't see us having our hands on that very much, unless they have some questions that we can assist with. But we're working very hard on building number 30. That's a mixed-use potential, large-scale mixed-use project. That's going to be probably maybe the biggest build-out down there in the DRI process. We're working with anybody that needs our help appropriately.
Thank you. That was my question. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Okay, anything else?
Just an update that all pilot payments for 2021 have been paid, so, as of the end of the month. So, the last one is typically due in July, and it was paid by the end of July. So,
Good.
That was the Broadwell one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's due Saturday.
Okay.
Well, I just want to make a comment about Tracy. Some of you may not know. Tracy worked for the Broadwell family. She was really the go-to person on the conference center project. I mean, she's very knowledgeable of governmental state financing. I mean, the stuff that she's done for this animal hospital, I just wish we could have other people helping animal hospitals and our other businesses as thorough as Tracy is. I mean, her CFA application was completed and filed and has been reviewed. I mean, she is very, very, very responsive. Asked her a question, and if you don't get it back immediately when you asked her, you'll get it the next day. She is super, super good at it. And I have a hell of a lot of confidence that this animal hospital is going to be a tremendous success and a great business for southern Oswego County.
Second.
And Austin's checking it out right now.
I hope using the services.
So we're investigating to making sure they're as good as they think.
Anything else under other business? Next meeting, day of the next meeting, what do you think, Mike?
I've got some, possible dates I just threw out, to give us some time to get some of these other processes and application. And there's another possible pending application that could be forthcoming. A manufacturing one. It's, about August 23, which is a Monday, August 24th, which is a Tuesday, or Wednesday, August 25.
23rd works for me. I've got a lot of days for the Red Cross down at the state fair, so.
23rd is fine with me. For me, that's good.
23rd?
9 o'clock or?
You like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock? So which one works?
Or
better?
7 o'clock? How about going for 7 o'clock?
No, because
The
we won't
muffins
have
will
the
still
muffins
be,
here.
no, the muffins will be hot. They'll be really hot. They'll
You guys are
they'll
trying
come
to
right out of the oven.
So do we wanna go to 9 o'clock?
Only 9.
Okay,
9.
9 o'clock on the 23rd of August. Did you get that, Tim?
For me,
Tim, did you get that date and time?
yes, sir, works for me, thank you.
Okay, yep, just wanted to make sure. Okay, anything else to discuss? I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Second? All those in favor of aye?
Aye.
Yep. Okay, motion is adjourned.